All right, I'd like to call to order September 28th PZBA regular meeting at 7:02. Roll call, please. Janet.
Chairman Kempa.
Here.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Here.
Commissioner Patel is absent by prior notice. Commissioner Sayward. Here. Commissioner Weigel is absent. Commissioner Simmons.
Here.
Commissioner Mashevsky.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. Let's look at the minutes from the last August 24th meeting. Did anybody see anything that needs correcting? Then I'd like a motion to approve August 24th meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay. No old business. First, new business, we have PCBA case number 23-13V. It's a public hearing. The applicant is Jack and Elizabeth Van Orden at 1418 East Olive Street in Arlington Heights. And the applicant is requesting the following variations. Section 5-6-1D1 lot size. Request approval of a 10-foot reduction from required minimum 100 foot for building line width of 90 feet. And the second variation is a section 5-6-1E2 yard areas. Request reduction of the side yard setback from 15 feet to 10 feet. The purpose of the variations is for a construction of a new single-family home on a legal non-conforming lot. Can I please have a motion to open the public hearing for case number 23-13V?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Then would you want to give us a summary of this case?
All right, Patrick, if you could put up the, open up the screen, please. Thank you. What's up on the screen is the original plat of survey for this property. The Van Ordens are recent purchasers of this property. This property had been a longstanding commercial operation that established before the city was a city, I believe, from the records I could find. This is a part of a larger lot. Prior to 1998, lots could be, there would be one lot and then people would parcel off sections of an original larger lot. So this is just one lot of what was Lot 15 in the C.H. Taylor's second Arlington subdivision. So when this particular lot was parceled off, it was only 90 feet in width instead of the city's requirement of 100 feet. Our requirements were established in 1977, 1 year after the city was established. So these lot dimensions met the previous unincorporated Cook County requirements. However, because the last use was terminated and the property was vacated, to make it fully buildable, as the lot meets every other buildable requirement in the code, we do have to grant the variance allowing it to be 90 feet wide. So we have a record of a conforming variation. And that's variation number 1. Patrick, can we switch to the next one, please? Or do I have to do that? I have to do that, okay. Let's see if I can find it here. All right, Patrick. That one there, let's see if that one will get me down to wherever I want to go. Let's go up here. There we go. Yep. I got a technology whiz next to me. I don't play with these. This is the page 1 of the packet submitted by the architect Gary Lear on behalf of the applicants for the Van Ordens. This shows what the proposed house would look like on the lot, and on both side yards, here and over here, as shown up there, they're proposing a 10-foot setback from the side yard line, which is 5 foot less on each side than the city requirements. And so therefore, the stated hardship is because the lot doesn't fully comply with it, and they would like to build a home that is in conformance with the surrounding homes in the neighborhood. So that's what's before us tonight. There will be one other item that will have to come back before this group, and that's our ordinance requires what's called a re-subdivision into a legal lot of record. That does not have a bearing on tonight's impacts. It just has to be done at a point either prior to permit or shortly thereafter. So we will be coming back, and you'll be functioning in that role as a plan commission, not a zoning board, for a subdivision approval. With that, the Van Ordens and their architect are here, and I believe an immediate neighbor is also here tonight.
So anybody that would like to speak to the case, I'm assuming the applicant would. If I could swear all you in, then we could get the show going. Yeah. Do you swear that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Great. If we could have the applicant come up and kind of present your case to us.
Sure. First of all, I want to say thank you very much.
And then we also need, if you could, do we need the name and the address for the record, please?
Of course, it's 1418 Olive Street in Arlington Heights, Illinois, 60004.
And your name, please.
Jack Van Orden,
Thank you.
also known as Louis Jackson Van Orden III. If you're looking into my legal name.
Great, thank you.
Again, I want to say thank you very much for getting us in on short notice. We appreciate that very much. We are working on building this house with our architect, Gary Lira. We've been planning this for the last 2 years. We have had some delays due to the pandemic and other things outside of our control. But we have gotten to a point where we have the plan, which we hope meets approval with everyone here, but we feel like we've got it at this point zeroed in with what we would like to do. We've been members of this community for many years. My wife's family goes back to the 50s. They've built several homes in Arlington Heights and the area. I first moved to Arlington Heights in 1985. I did move away again, but then we came back in 2007. We're very invested in this community, and this is very important to us to build our forever home in Arlington Heights. Our son goes to Prospect Heights schools. He's in District 23, and he's also in Boy Scouts, started in Cub Scouts. We're involved in the Little League program, so we really do value this community. We want to do everything that we possibly can to continue to improve it however we can. We want to work closely with our neighbors to make sure that everyone is aware of what we want to do and that we're all working together.
Great, thank you. Could you talk about, one of the documents that you presented is the hardship. Could you describe in your own words what the hardship is for the variations that you're asking for?
I'm Gary Lira, I'm the architect, Lira and Associates,
And your address, please.
2015 South Arlington Heights Road, Suite 118C.
Thank you.
So with the lot being only 90 feet wide, we have a 15% setback on that lot, which is obviously a substandard size lot. When we're looking at working with the Van Ordens and their big investment on this property, they're trying to fit a house that not only fits the lot, but is worth their investment in there. The lot, or the size of the house is 70 feet wide, which would be the size if we had a 100-foot wide lot. So that's our hardship, is working with the non-conforming lot width.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you want to mention you showed us the neighbors?
Yes, we did work with both Terry's family and also with developments. They're on the other side of us, so they're all aware. We've shared the plans with them, and either spoken with them, or Terry has been kind enough to come in tonight as well. So again, we just want to make sure that we're being completely transparent with what we're hoping to do with this property. We want to invest there, and we, again, want to make this a great home for our family, while keeping in mind that we have neighbors on either side of us that we also want to make sure that we are being honest and open with.
You want to get invited to a barbecue, right? Yeah, if you would like to, if you have something to offer, then we would,
Terry Benjamin, 1504 East Olive Street, so I am the neighbor to that. I'm excited about a new house coming in and improving the neighborhood. My only concern is drainage, and we talked about that a little bit, that I am the lowest property on the street, and I want to make sure that if a variance is offered, that proper drainage happens during construction so that I don't get flooded. So.
okay.
Gary, you want to address that?
So we're working with Toberman Engineering on the property. They're working on the site plan, and they'll work with the city. Jack expressed Terry's concern to me, and he called me actually on a Sunday, said, don't worry, I'll call Cliff Toberman Engineering, and express the concern to make sure that it's addressed properly, so that way Toberman will work with the city engineering to make sure that there's not additional flooding caused on his property due to what the Van Ordens are requiring or requesting.
Thank you.
Any questions from the commissioners to the applicant?
I have a quick question, or maybe it's for the architect. Why, is it a hardship to just make it, to not add, just make it 5 feet or 10 feet less wide?
Yeah, for what they're looking to do on their lot, yeah, because they're taking, in this day and age, to build, and this is not the word McMansion. This is not a McMansion home. If you looked at the elevations at all, they're very simply done elevations. It's kind of in that new farmhouse style. We're not blowing up the square footage by any means. We're not even maximizing that out. So in order to do that, to get in this day and age when you're going to invest this type of money, even though it's simple, still need a 3-car garage. Otherwise, it's just not worth doing the project or doing the project on another lot.
Thank you.
Did you look at other options? It seems like you've got the house designed, and now you're coming in for the variation.
Yes.
It's kind of after the fact.
We looked at many, many different options.
Yes.
And so, were you aware that the setback was
Yes.
15 feet when you started
Yes.
working on it?
And we worked on it and tried to do other options. And actually, the house was a little bit larger, same style, but a little bit larger. And we went out to budget with the contractor, and we actually scaled back the house. And again, it's not that large of a house.
And this is from a staff perspective question. You fully understand that where this is at with this variance, to try and come in for an access to the rear yard is going to be probably off the table, because that then will become a self-created hardship. Because we do allow large detached garages in the rear yard. And at 10 feet, there will be no way to access the rear yard for any future structures. I just want to make sure that that's on the table and you're well aware of it.
Right,
Because it's hard to give a variance on top of a variance.
correct.
So if that's the choice the commission wants to go with.
Dan, can you just speak a little bit about whether or not there's any other parcels in the area that are the 90 feet, and if there are, or is this the only parcel that, is this unique to the area?
For the immediate neighborhood of Olive between Williams Way and Rand Road, and I believe that is Drury and
Yes.
heading east on the side, all lots except for this one met the 100-foot setback. And
100-foot width?
or 100-foot width, excuse me, at the building line. in looking at this, and so we've got one other area where there's been a smaller lot at 94 feet because of being a part of a larger lot that was parceled off and then was basically the last lot left to be parceled off, and it happened to be substandard. So it's not common, but it has happened. We do have a lot of properties that are 100-foot widths that were platted with 10-foot side yard setbacks under the old Cook County building rules previously. So a 10-foot setback is not unusual. You know, we have had a number of those situations here in town.
I have a quick question for you then. So could this be kind of skinned a different way to where if we're approving a 90-foot wide lot, could we put setbacks into that variance and not into the house? Is it done by percentage? So is it 15% on each side from 100? And we could take 50%, which would be 10 something? I'm just throwing this out there.
If I followed the question correctly, you're asking if there's a different way to establish a variance level for this particular lot.
For this lot, yeah, for this special 90-foot wide lot. 'Cause we're putting all the other criteria that would apply to a normal 100-foot lot on this 90-foot lot.
But that's the reason they're coming for the ask, for the variation they have right now. So I don't think arbitrarily picking a number other than what they're asking for, because I don't know where we would come up. Would it be 7.5? Would it be 12? You know, what?
Yeah, but like percentage-wise maybe.
Yeah,
but-
like down South Parkway, the lots are wider than 100 feet, but the setback still is.
Still 15.
Is 15
Okay.
feet. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't think you could put a multiple on that.
Okay, just a question, that's all.
And remember, that any decisions that this body makes is specifically for this lot and this lot only, based on the conditions of this lot.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? If there are none, thank you very much. Then I'd like a motion to close public hearing case number, sorry, 23-13V.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. I understand the logic of we definitely want a buildable lot, so I'm in favor of the 90-foot lot, and I do understand the logic of building similar house to every other house in the neighborhood that's 70 foot wide. I don't know if any other commissioners have opposing views.
Were there any comments that you got from other neighbors, Dan, based on?
We received no comments on the notice that went out, and the applicants did submit for the record the green cards tonight. So it was very silent, and the only other testimony we've had is from the neighbor, Mr. Benjamin, tonight. So,
But you said both sides, right? Both sides, we're on board?
We've been in constant communication with both sets of neighbors as we want to be.
can I ask you to step up, Liz, and state your name just for the record?
Elizabeth Van Orden, 1418 Olive Street, Arlington Heights, 6004. Yes, we've been in communication with both the Veltmans on the other side and the Benjamins, because we want to make sure that we are good neighbors before we even start building. We know it'll be an inconvenience during the building process, and we want to operate with full transparency and be really close with our neighbors. I actually went to District 23 schools, and it was really important for us to raise our family in this community. And so anyway, we wanted to make sure that we had that sense of community. That's exactly why we wanted to be where we are. We live around the corner right now. We just wanted a bigger lot, so that way we could have more space for offices as things change during the pandemic. And so we really want to make sure that we're good neighbors from the start of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we just have to have a clear understanding of what the hardship is, and I think that it's obvious that the 90-foot wide, there's nothing we can do about that, so I have no problem with that. I get it why you're trying to do the 10-foot side yards instead. It would have been nice to have come in before you're going for building permit just about, but the one good thing too I see is that on both sides, the house on either side isn't right next to the property line. It's the garages or the driveways, so that gives you more of a buffer as well. So I think that's going to help with the fact that the house is a little bit closer to the side yard. So, so I guess we just have to make sure that we're clear on the fact that the hardship is actually the, based on the lot width.
Right,
And that this property is unique to the area.
right. And it is a minimum ask, since we do have 10-foot side yard setbacks on any lot any house that was built prior to the current code. All right, any other comments? If there aren't, can I approve the evidence into both cases?
Yes.
Okay, so can I please have a motion to add to the public record evidence presented this evening for case number 23-13V, including the green cards?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Do we vote separately?
Yes.
Okay. All right, can I please have a motion to recommend to the city council approval of section 5-6-1 D1 of case number 23-13V for the request of a 10-yard reduction from the required minimum 100-foot, for a 10-foot reduction from a required minimum 100-foot to 90 feet for a building line for single-family construction.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Mashewski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Second, can I please have a motion to recommend to the city council approval of section 5-6-1E2 of case number 23-13V for the reduction of a required side yard setback from 15 feet to 10 feet for a construction of a single-family home.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Mashewski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye.
Wonderful. As soon as I get the plat of subdivision, we will be scheduling a plan commission meeting. It doesn't require the mailing that went out on the other ones, because this is a public meeting, not a public hearing. So as soon as I get that information from Toberman's office and I get the feedback from my engineer, we'll be in touch to schedule the date. We still have time to get that into the October or November meeting if it gets done in the next 2 weeks. In October for sure, in 2 weeks. November positively, we could get it done. The first reading of this will be scheduled, I'm going to have a lot of work to do on Monday, is the second Monday, what is that, the 9th?
Yes.
The 9th of October, Monday night here at 6:30 PM. And it'll be up for a first reading. And then if the council feels, they may even vote it to waive the first reading and pass on the second, but that's up to the council.
Great.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with your project.
The house looks great.
Yep. Oh, everybody disappeared. There's been no public comments. Terrible. Updates?
Last night, the city council approved 910 Sherwood without comment. So, Mr. Kochonsky. So his variation got passed last night. You will probably be hearing some scuttlebutt, but we had an introductory presentation last night by L Development. They are the contract purchasers for the 506, 508 East Camp McDonald property, which is right, the two vacant lots across the street from the Rob Roy entrance on Camp McDonald. The property is 181 and a half feet wide by 830 feet deep. So 3¼ acres. The initial presentation last night concept was for a very traditional 3-story townhome, attached single family, 6 buildings. The council and the public that were here had comments about density, trees, access, all the usual stuff. It was mainly there to introduce it to the council so they could get referral to the PZBA. The council did not give them, they've asked them to rework their plan to be a little less dense. They were proposing 48 units. Because, you know, in our zoning code, we go from half-acre single-family lots to 17.25 units per acre in R2. And this would have, if the rezoning to R2 would have gone forward with the plan that they had, they would only have one small front yard setback variation. They would have been asking, there was that much fit on the lot, but it would have been a very large impact on the neighborhood. They're gonna rework the plan. I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it to, there was a lot of positive comments. They're gonna work with the neighborhoods and stuff, but we may be getting that before the end of the year. If not, it'll be in January.
It's R1 now, isn't it?
Correct. So the ask was gonna be for a rezoning to straight R2, no PUD, no issues. There is sewer on Camp McDonald. There's also city water they come in, so there's no well issue with that particular property. When Mr. Centrano built the Casa Court subdivision, he ran a water line from Rob Roy to Casa Court, and then from Casa Court, the Lake Claire SSA for water was then established. So that section between Casa Court and the Rob Roy entrance is city main, and as such, this property has rights to access it. So it would have been a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, lower level garage, utilities, family room. Second floor would have been a great room, kitchen, community area, 3 bedrooms on the top floor. This builder has done this a number of times, mainly in some of the collar suburbs or collar neighborhoods of the city.
Of our city?
Of Chicago, Chicago. The architect, we determined that we knew each other 20-plus years ago when they proposed this. The team he was working with back then proposed a very similar product in the village of Cary when I was the assistant director, which was very successful there, but it was not an infill lot situation. So we will be hopefully having a new development coming forward here in the next month or two. So exciting.
All right.
Other than that, I did tell you that the cell tower is going to be rebuilt. And so we don't know when that's going to happen. It's out there otherwise. Barcelado, if you haven't had a chance, it is absolutely amazing. I hope you get a chance to get over there. Gary, the architect here, was the architect of that project, and the food is amazing. Mr. Bruzolera and Mr. Ragauskas and their team have done a great job. Staff is wonderful. It's a very nicely nice, very nice upgrade in our restaurant options.
Yes, for sure.
So, other than that, we will have a meeting next month. We've got 2 applications. And then, what else? That was it. We just have the 2 applications next month, correct? So, and then depending on when I get this, that may be added to October, because we only need a 2-week lead time for staff.
For the, okay,
For the subdivision.
subdivision, yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Dan, I wanted to ask you, because we were looking it up the other day, we sold that 200 Pine over 2 years ago. Is anything going on with that? I know it's still there, you didn't really knock it down. The one with the built-in pool there in the corner?
The one of Pine
Yeah,
and,
right on the corner. Remember you wanted them to fill the pool in, there was an issue, and then the Greek guy bought it? You know which one I'm talking about? Right on the corner.
oh, yes.
He was gonna knock it down, and I was taking signs down the other day on the other block of one that just sold, and I'm like, wow, they never did anything with that. And I had Dawn look it up.
I'll have to go back and look at it. We've had a lot of issues.
'Cause you were having issues with the old owners, and this guy said he was gonna knock it right
Yeah,
down.
but this last month, just to let all of you know, our town has been hit at least 12 times by the Irish gypsy paving fraud this summer.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. They hit North Parkway on four, possibly 5 lots there. They took one resident for $20,000 and made his lot illegal. And then there were at least 4, maybe 5 houses off of Pine and Elm and Prospect Court and West Willow Road. We did cite the truck driver and the trucking company that delivered the asphalt, because when I got out there, there was a truck, a driver, and an asphalt crew. So to me, that's a contractor. And they did pay, they did say they cooperate, but they too, all that company was doing is they get a call to supply a truckload of asphalt at a certain site and then they get paid for it. And so they didn't even know who the company was. They just had a name and it was a prepaid cash job. So that's the scam of this summer. And it's happened in Palatine, Arlington Heights, Glenview, Hoffman Estates, Elgin, Streamwood, Carroll Stream, and it's all the same MO. And somebody comes up, knocks on the door, says, we did this. In Hanover Park, they were so brazen because the city was actually doing resurfacing of a city road in an area that they said that they were actually approved by they were the city's contractor, and no permits were required just to do the surface. And the people do not check.
They were just
Not
right on
in-
top of the old.
Yeah, and it's bad. It is really bad. So if here's people talking about doing their driveways, trying to get it resurfaced before the season runs out, please let them know that they need to call us, need to ask for permits, they need to make sure that they offer them a contract, the Secretary of State's right to refusal information, because that's not happening. And I can't believe people are agreeing to give strangers that just show up at your door thousands of dollars without background checks, any verification. One guy didn't even have a proposal, it was just a handshake. And then we caught him, and so now he's got half a driveway, because we sent the truck back. So it's been taking a lot of time and a lot of energy, chasing ghosts.
Can you update us on the demo of the house on Wheeling Road that was?
Yes, there were 214 Wheeling Road was a house that had perpetual flood damage. I think 4 times in the 8 years I've been here. Or 10.
Where is it, Wheeling and what?
Wheeling, just north of Euclid. You know where the golf course Rob Roy is, there's the stoplight. If you come north on Wheeling Road, it's the
Creek.
first house
North of the
north
creek.
of the creek. And she had a lot of problem stuff. The MWRD we put in a grant to buy the flood-prone property. And so the city orchestrated the purchase of that, and the land then is being transferred over to the Park District to provide a area of parking so residents can actually access Tully Park, which is right behind there, which is basically a landlocked park. And the demo of that house just took place this week, or started this week. I'm not sure if they're done yet.
It's pretty close, huh? I drove by this morning.
Yeah, we have another, I don't know if all of you remember, but a couple of years ago, the Christian Liberty Church came in and we vacated a right-of-way and a lot of subdivision. Well, they just sold, they're in the process of closing on 105, and we will probably be having, I don't know if we're gonna have any, I don't think we should have any variances, but you should see a new house being built on Camp McDonald Road early next year. The lot's been for sale for quite some time, so we've got a little bit of stuff going on.
I noticed that there is a chain link fence around a house right next to Chase on 83 Elmhurst Road.
We will be getting that one probably after the first of the year for a rezoning to extend the B2A from Chase to the next lot over. The person that owns that residential property owned the Social Security building, and originally Chase was supposed to take both the lots when Chase came in. However, it didn't materialize then. Now the owner of the house needed to come down, and he would like to put a small commercial lot there. So,
Nobody lives there, do they?
no, it's been vacant for, it's been vacant for a long time. The owners of the property.
So would Chase buy that lot from him?
What my guess is, from one of the discussions, is Chase would either enter into a cross-access easement agreement with that, and they put a small little drive-around kiosk or a smaller retail building and have shared access, shared parking.
Okay.
Because Chase is so underparked.
Right.
Pathetic.
So, and it just may be, they're doing this just so Chase could buy the lot, but we have not seen a hard plan as of yet.
Chase doesn't have a drive-up facility, do they?
Yes, they do.
They do?
It's just for ATMs.
No, it's
not a
just
drive-up.
ATMs.
It's
Yeah.
just ATM, it's not a drive.
Yeah, the seniors got really upset about that because they really used it over when they were across the street.
Yeah, I think when Chase consolidated, they were going more to the online, non-personal contact banking. They underestimated people that love to touch their money and still meet with their personal banker. I'm one.
And Chase is getting out of the safety
What money?
deposit.
Yeah, well, they've been saying that. They still
What
get
money?
boxes. They told me they weren't gonna get boxes, because that guy used to be my neighbor.
Well, but they won't,
Oh, you can't get them anymore?
So, that's gonna, I don't know exactly when, but we did have a discussion of the process when they were applying for the demo permit. So that, they were supposed to either start today or tomorrow.
for demo,
Yeah.
we need to make sure their sewer is disconnected.
Okay.
Sorry.
Remind Andrew if we can call. We can call the property owner, which is London Associates. Other than that, we've just been really, really busy.
Do you still have your interns? Or no?
No.
You lost them?
Yeah.
Went back to school?
Yep. Jordan did announce to us that he, in the springtime, will be working for the State Department for a semester. Will either be in New York, Virginia, or overseas.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
That's just for spring semester, that's not summer.
Oh, that's like what he did in Iceland.
That was
Okay.
that was a 2-week study abroad. This is a full semester internship, working with the State Department.
Is he the one that was helping you with the recordings? How's that going?
He went 30 for 30, kid batted 100. He was good. I'm gonna miss him, so, We're gonna be looking this budget cycle to look to create probably a half, a part-time, maybe even 20-hour admin assistant to pick up recordings, scanning, cleaning the file room, trying to digitalize all our records. It's amazing how fast paper accumulates, and we have to keep everything for life. It is what it is, so. That's, and I thought then, we're also looking at if that can happen, then we would be able to offer another service to the residents for roofs, hot water heaters, simple HVAC systems, over-the-counter permitting.
What does that mean, over-the-counter permit?
You come in with all your paperwork, right? If it's right.
Oh, you get it right, you don't have to wait, okay.
Because right now, everything is on the same time frame because we accept applications in the order, we process them in the order we receive them. So if you got a roof permit or HVAC issue, unless it's an emergency, you got a hole in the roof and you tell us that, it's gonna get into the cycle like everything else. Otherwise, we just can't manage all the projects because you'll get into all the small stuff and then you won't be able to get to a new home or something else. So in equity and fairness, there's an order, they come in and we try and move the smaller stuff faster when we have time or there's in-betweens, but it gets to be a time management issue. So thought is we've had a lot of people ask for it. If we can get the staffing to help out, then we'll give it a try.
Dan, can you tell me again why that Williams Way Drive is not paved?
Good question, I drove through there today.
Yes.
So in the 80s, the Gruber family, which was Mrs. Gruber until she passed away this past year, lived at 1301 Williams Way. She and her husband owned all the property that goes into the cul-de-sac that backs up to this storage building. They came in and got approved for a 4-lot subdivision. And that subdivision, for 23 years, only had 2 houses, Mrs. Gruber's house and their son Bill's house. The rest of it was vacant. And then over the last couple of years, the last 2 lots were sold. Well, the city had a policy, and still does have a policy, that we don't accept roads until there's 75% or 100% construction. And the Grubers didn't want to start, whatever the reason, weren't prepared to dedicate the roadway back then. And over time, it just deteriorated. And so the Grubers on all 4 owners do all their own snow plowing, do all their own of the road. It's like a private road. They did dedicate the storm sewers and the sanitary easements there. And so we are on them to make sure to protect our lids, our structures in the area. But right now, the 4 of them, the 4 owners will have to figure out how they're gonna, if they want to turn it over to the city, they're gonna have to meet all those city requirements and repave the road, which would mean rip out everything, recompact it, gravel if needed, new binder, new top coat, and I don't think there's enough money between the 4 houses to be able to cover that cost. So my guess is that road's gonna be in that condition for a long time.
Crazy.
And that was literally just one, and, a person, a resident last night said, well, why don't they just put 4 single-family homes on the lot across from Rod Roy? The problem is that the cost to do that is now gonna be on 4 lots versus it all. Secondly, is there a market for that type of a subdivision and do all the stormwater detention, meet all the new requirements that MWRD has, and fight in the county on 4 single-family homes?
That's been for sale for a long time. That's that real deep one, and there was just one old farm home on there, right?
Yeah, but the lot next to it, there used to be a developer in town by the name of Ben Solis, and he did a lot of subdivision work in the city. Well, he owned a number of homes, lots on Grego Court, and when he sold the last 2 at 507, 509, the people didn't want to buy it, So he illegally, did not come to here, but illegally sold off only parts of the lots. So he had 2 remnant lots in the back. When the main farmhouse went down and it went up for sale, an organization, the Dharma Drum Buddhist Association of Chicago, bought that. They acquired the lot, so they controlled all 4 lots in there. So that's how it got to be almost 830 feet deep. And they were gonna, proposal was gonna put out like a community center, educational facility, religious use, some training and teaching on site stuff for incoming folks that wanted training in the Buddhist philosophies and religion. But the organization during COVID just couldn't come together to fund it. So they put it out on the market, and that's what's got interest from the townhome developer.
Is there any movement on the Lexington project or north of Palatine on the old Jolly Fun House?
Nope.
Or that went defunct?
The owner has called a couple times. She's still willing to entertain discussions. She would like to have Lexington come back to the table. We have had discussions with them that that project, because of the TIF, because of the approved development plan, that the city has an expectation of what that property will perform at. And we will entertain any other builder, but that's the plan, that's the expectations that we've gone through. So right now, it's on hold, and we could sit 23 years to pay ourselves back.
Was the property rezoned as far as?
It got its R2, it's got its R2 rezoning. It's got the TIF. The TIF has already been collecting increment over the last 2 tax cycles. So there's, the plan is in place, and it's just, at no time, the owner never said that they weren't supportive of it. As a matter of fact, she provided testimony to this body and to the council that she supported it. The week of the final votes, she was like, "Oh, this is great, it's gonna be ending," and then at no time did they say that there wasn't a hard, fast contract. I think what happened is over time, because of the delay,
A staff of lawyers.
so I think what happened over time is that with COVID, everything was status quo and things didn't get consummated, so. Here we are today, and
So Lexington is not involved anymore?
they're still interested, but the owner has also increased the price of the property because of the entitlements that are now associated with that.
Her taxes would change dramatically.
The issue is up until recently, that whole property was under the singular PIN, which was a tax exempt for the park district because of the way the park district was donated land from the original owner. So what's happened now is that they've been put on notice that they've got to create their own tax PIN for that lot, which is then going to trigger it's commercial, so she may now start seeing a tax hit where she's never had to pay taxes in her whole existence on that property. Those are all things that are going on. So hopefully they get back to the table, they can come to agreement. Until then, we're not, the city's got an incredible amount of money sank into that over 4 years that are eligible reimbursement expenses, so we can sit and wait.
Is somebody maintaining, I mean, I haven't been there, somebody cutting the grass or at least maintaining?
this year's better than last, and yes.
Can I please have a motion to adjourn at
7:52.
7:52?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?